Hello, Cats and Kittens. Orewa Jose, Yoroshiku. Welcome back to the Crisis Corner on Manga Mondays. We're here to review chapter 1030 of One Piece entitled Soldier of Science. I got my man Dave here. This is a momentous occasion. Hey, what's going on, man?
Finally back in the corner.
Indeed, finally. Like The Rock. Finally! Finally, right.
Has come back.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
To the corner.
Now, this is because I think this is probably one of the best chapters of Wano yet because of the payoff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And oddly enough, it's paying off some stuff in Whole Cake Island. You know what I'm saying? Which is a long time coming. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always been kind of, funny with Whole Cake Island, the year Sanji thing or whatever, because it ain't quite hit me the way I thought it would. But this solidifies a few things in my mind.
Okay.
We'll get to that first. And we start with the opening, which to me was kind of predictable.
Okay.
The at the end of 1030, you had Kid and Law flexing their awakened abilities, which is fine.
Okay.
I didn't know that they had, but then they never said they didn't, and they must have done something during the time skip. They must have put forth some kind of effort to improve themselves.
So did you? I don't want to dwell too much on 1030 because this is 1031 time. Were you okay with the way the awakening went down, or?
I wasn't mad at it. I mean, it's kind of like, I ain't saying it was left field, but like I said, we didn't know that they hadn't awakened their abilities. And we hadn't seen them in. Well, then again, it kind of quiz Dressrosa a little bit, I guess, because why Law wouldn't have pulled it out at that point. But
I mean,
it seems like he's talking about he only pulled it out for life or death situation.
And Dressrosa, you felt like it was a life or death situation for him, or?
Well, he lost his arm, and he didn't know that Luffy was going to save him when he was about to get his head stamped in. So.
I mean, I guess that's true. That's true. I mean, for me, I don't necessarily, because Law's been rolling with these cats for a minute, so he's essentially been rolling with the Mugiwara since Punk Hazard. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, it can kind of queer things, but for the most part, for me, I don't necessarily mind that it came out of left field, so to speak. I mean, they're not official members of the squad, and it's not really it's not their book, not to say whatever. So I wasn't like he rolled out Robin's upgrade. This time, there's some other cats that's kind of rolling with him. I mean, it's getting into the main events, but this is like this is a different card. If I'm being real, this is not Straw Hat card, so. I ain't really worried about it. So I was cool with it.
Okay. Like I say, it's fine, They had to upgrade some kind of way. They could have just been the same people they were when they left. When they just got into the new world. They had to upgrade somewhere.
And if they didn't do this, if they didn't have this, they'd be no competition for Big Mom. I'm just like, just real talk. Like, it would be nothing.
Well, at this point, Luffy had that matter, because, I mean... I'd see him stomping a mud hole into both of them if it got. So he got his conquerors, and he got advanced conquerors, advanced what's your armament? I mean,
yeah. I mean, well, so I think individually Luffy would crush both of them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they
jumped him, yeah, that'd be a different issue. That'd be a different issue.
But what? I got Luffy taking both these cats.
Oh, so yeah. Well, without question. Now this adds an element to it, but we'll get to that. All right. So, but like I say, this was predictable. Big Mom was not going to go down over being crushed by some metal.
Nah.
If you can't. I mean, she's too big for that. Yeah, she's too durable and she's too strong. She can't. It was a sound effort, I guess.
I mean, she's
yeah. I mean, and at this point, when you first see them, they're huffing and puffing like they're on not Death Star. Tired, you know what I'm saying?
They wore it out.
And I like the fact that Kid ain't giving up everything about his abilities. Law talking about how long does that joint last. He like, I ain't telling you nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna have to fight you at some point. So I ain't,
because we both can't be Yonko. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My math say that, yeah. I'm with you.
You're gonna find out like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. But at the point that Big Mom comes back out, that's real. That's what should happen. There's no reason why she should be put down, but that amount of effort. She had to encounter people stronger than that before.
I agree.
Yeah. And the death of Oshiruko, I'm not sure I quite get that. But she's just saying that because it's something that she know they didn't have.
No, I think it's either it's you
life
give me your life. You either go sacrifice yourself. You can give me some of that Oshiruko that's like Luffy. Let me eat to regain my strength. And we ain't got no Oshiruko.
If they had some, she wouldn't have taken their lives.
I'm assuming.
Okay, I thought she was just saying that because they didn't have none, and she was going to take their lives.
Hey,
if that's the mechanics of how her powers work, you have to either be terrified, or you have to have an option, and you got to give one up.
I mean, she Big Mom. I assume they were terrified regardless. So,
these dudes they straight cowards. They cowards for real. They fodder. You know what I'm saying? Our mid-tier members, at least, you ain't gonna soil yourself over that. You know what I mean? Because you ready to face death anyway. You out there on the open, you running with these members. It's like next level. Yeah, you know you're gonna die one day anyway. They was done. They did not retain no pride or dignity or nothing. So they just lost their lives. Now, here's the thing. She took their lives. Their entire lifespans, I guess.
Yeah, I think
their life. She took their life.
It's just done. I think it's a wrap.
And then she complained about to the point where she added a year of her own life. She was like, I can't just roll over these.
No, so it seems like
members, you know what I'm saying?
She made those steel beams homies.
Yeah.
So she took their souls, made some steel beams her homies, and she was like, I can't feed off of fodder. I need something more substantial to get lifted. So she took a year her own.
So that does show that she's taking them serious.
Yeah.
And at the same time, she can always back that up by taking their lives and maybe get their year back. She's broke. Her whole thing is broke.
Well, that joins with Law, because Law broke too. So
that's true. And there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee, because if they're not afraid of her, she can't necessarily take their lives quickly anyway. But she might could take them anyway by defeating them. I don't know.
Fear might check in come up at the end, though. You know what I'm saying? Was she about to finish you off there?
Yeah, well, that depends. But it's one of them things to me. If it's not in you, if you like kids are lunatic, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Crazy people don't really get that scared. In law, maybe, I don't think so.
It's all brave and games until somebody get punched in the mouth. So
Law almost died anyway. Once you've been to death's door, it ain't that big a thing.
It don't matter if it's Big Mama Vigo. I guess that's true.
He about to die. This disease almost killed him. You know what I'm saying? He died. Yeah, I'm gonna die anyway. So
all right.
But so apparently she's gotten even bigger, which is wild. Her sword got bigger. I guess she gave that some life too. Napoleon.
Yeah.
And I like how they throwing shade at each other. You know what I'm saying? She's talking about if you think you're ready, bring it. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's real.
That would be like WWE. You know what I'm saying?
That was real.
She's like,
trying to get the throne. Yeah.
Yeah, she said, you want to take the throne? Come on, let's go. And look, this is real. You know what I'm saying? That everything up until now, Luffy's he's been engaged for a minute, and he knows, the score.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But these two hadn't been put to the wall yet. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really got it rained down on them yet. And she's, this is it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to prove themselves. It's either going to be two less Yonko or two new Yonko by the time this journey's over. You know what I mean? But that goes into another thing, whether or not she's going to kill these or if she's going to die. That's a separate issue. That's a theory. But
okay.
I got death flags for Kaido, but I don't know. I don't think she's going to die.
I don't think she's going to die either. I don't think this is the end for Big Mom. But
No.
you know, your man Kid planted his flag a couple chapters ago, where he was just like, you know, if I can't beat a Yonko now, then what is my whole pirate soul?
That's true.
He planted a flag, so it's one of those situations where it seemed like she got to go down. But I didn't have them beating her until he said that. I wasn't sure, so now I don't know where I'm leaning.
And here's another thing. So he makes a statement: "No more holding back. We're going all out. You know, he don't care what it costs. I'm going to tear her from the throne." Didn't they just say that, like, using their awakenings, like, really cuts into their stuff? So how's that going to work?
I mean, they running on fumes, and they go up against Big Mom. So I just don't know how they're going to pull this one out.
Yeah, because, I mean, they were talking about this is like the trump card. This is the where if we use this Joker, we got to win.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Zoro pulled out what you call him?
Ashura.
Ashura, and he was like telling Law, you know, this is it for me, you know. That's where I assumed they were at.
I don't know. I mean, they on fumes, so we'll see what's going on.
Okay. All right. So, okay, well, all right, that's that for them. Now we move into the Apu stuff.
Whew.
But man, I mean, it's an interesting dude. I did not believe that Drake was going to take him up on his offer. I mean, there's nothing in it for him to team up with Apu. Because he's still, if he wasn't a Navy officer, if he wasn't loyal to the Navy, I'd say, all right, anything can go. But he's still got to go back to his people. You know,
at some point, I don't know if I thought anything was in it for. Well, I mean, I don't know. So essentially, if it depends, because essentially, so all right, so if we're saying I'm Drake and I've aligned with Luffy, so I've been outed as a spy with Kaido. If Kaido and Big Mom come out the victors, then Drake is done. It's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
If Luffy comes out the victor, then, you know, I align with you, I'm okay. So I guess in that way, he has to back Luffy. Otherwise, it's a problem. But in theory, if he says, I don't want to get with Luffy, if I join up with Apu and these three big numbers and we clean up everybody who's left, I don't know. I mean,
he still got to deal with CP0 and the Marines that are coming. They got his back, so he's. I mean,
at that point, I'm no longer outed as a spy, though.
I put it like this: Kaido wins, everybody's screwed. You know what I mean? That's he's just going. They're gonna clean the slate anyway.
Okay.
All right, so nobody comes out on top there. If Luffy wins, Luffy's most likely not going to kill Drake.
Okay.
Maybe, I mean, and is he going to just sit back and let somebody like Kid or Law kill Drake? Because put it like this, if Luffy wins, then the top dogs is going to be Momo. He's going to be what, the Shogun or whatever?
Yeah.
Luffy's just going to be Luffy, the leader of this, you know, war, basically. The war general, captain or whatever, let's say that.
Okay.
And all the other pieces is just going to be who they are, you know. Who's going to say, Drake, you infiltrated Kaido, you got to die? You know what I mean?
Well, nobody, because Drake essentially said, hey, Luffy, I'm coming on board, Team Mugiwara, so we're going to fight Kaido together. And even though Jinbei, if you recall, Jinbei and Zoro said, nah, don't accept them, Luffy was like, sure. You part of the team.
Okay.
So in theory, he's already with Luffy.
But then, and they don't know that he was a spy for the Marines.
No, as far as I know, the Mugiwara do not know that he was a spy for the Marines. The only people who know that are people in Kaido's crew, so Queen and who's who.
And they don't. And plus, if you take into account, they don't know that the Marines are on their way. When the Marines get there, that means they're gonna have to fight. Well, if the Marines get there and this is getting way too complicated.
Well,
the Marines get there. Their orders are: if Kaido and Big Mom fall, we're gonna annex this place.
Take everybody, right?
And they're gonna have
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, but we'll point this out too. I think Drake is deep cover. So he's deep undercover. Because if you recall, back at Saturday, when Kizaru showed up, he banged out Drake too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's deep cover. So I don't even know what'll happen if the Marines come.
I figured he would drop his cover because then he'd be among friends. And he'd be among friends in a fight against whoever's left.
I think somebody's going to have to vouch for him. I don't know who's in charge of Sword, but it seems to me somebody's going to have to vouch for him because I think he's deep cover because Kizaru straight lit into him.
That's true.
And he's an admiral, so I don't know.
That's right, because he was, unless he was turned after he got caught. But no, you're right. Anyway, that's too complicated. All right, let's let that go for a second. All right, so the main thing is he turned down dude's offer, and now we got this fight. Not the revelation of how his powers work. How did it work for you?
Oh, that it's line of sight for him, whatever.
I didn't see that coming.
I think that's a basic fighting thing. I was okay with that.
Okay.
You know, like
I figure sound is, omnidirectional.
Yeah, sound is, but you're a person, and where you're sending your attack this way, so he's controlling how people are getting hit. So I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay. All right. So that's cool. And
I will say this, like real talk. Prior to I guess the last two chapters, I wasn't big on the proof. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling him. I wasn't whatever. But this dude is a snake, and I'm loving the hell out of this cat. Like I am. He's a pirate through and through. I'm feeling him. Like I didn't enjoy him before, but this dude he's coming on like gangbusters for me. I'm feeling him now.
But we need pirates in this show. You know what I mean? So we need, backhanded, conniving type dudes. You know what I mean?
And he's conniving for real. Like he turned on the bandits because Kaido showed up. Like I'm starting to love it.
Well, at this point, he's jumped over Hawkins on my list of favorite.
Supernovas.
Supernovas, yeah. It's just not about much, but I mean, I like Hawkins. His bit and his power set and all that stuff. But
all right,
Pooh being the rascal that he is, I kind of like. You need pirates. You need pirates around. You need dudes like that's why I like Kid.
Okay.
Kid, I mean, don't get too close to him. Don't be thinking you friends because he'll turn on you. As opposed to Law, I think it's closer to the Luffy set.
Yeah.
He probably gonna turn on somebody too.
Who Law?
Probably, I guess.
That's another theory video, dude.
Yeah.
Stay clear.
Yeah, the only person you should not fear turning on you is Luffy. All the rest of these cats, don't worry about it. Now, Yamato making the scene, queer things for both of them for a second.
Yeah.
Till Drake declared himself. Well, he never said that he was but don't tell people that you're a mole. That'd be counterproductive. But he did say that he wasn't on Kaido's side, and that was enough to get her off of him. Because that'd have been a problem. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if he could take her. Because I think she's probably stronger than the rest of the Tobi-Robo. And that would include him.
I think
I ain't saying she would have cleaned him out quick.
No, because she's an interesting character. In so much, and I know a lot of folks in the community have scaled her tremendously high. I am hesitant to do so because like she had a nice showing against Kaido, but essentially that's a dude fighting his daughter. And I know he was like, I'm going to kill you, yada yada yada. But he also wanted to put her as Shogun of Wano, and Kaido is a very interesting, and he's growing on me as a villain, but he's very interesting because he's more into breaking you as an individual as opposed to destroying people. Like Luffy, he got to a point where he realizes I can't break Luffy, so I just have to kill him. Yeah. So I don't know that he's at that point with his own kid. I'm going to break you. So that's not a straight up fight to me. And then, like real talk, as soon as she comes out those handcuffs, out the shackles, she fights Ulti. And as far as I know, that fight was a wash. So like she didn't, she snuck Ulti earlier, but they were fighting, they battled, they had a little skirmish,
Mm-hmm.
and she ain't come out. She ain't bang Ulti out. So I find Yamato hard to scale at this point in time.
Where do you scale? Well, not to go too far off track, but where do you scale Ulti among the Toby Rope?
I mean, based off showing, Ulti scales pretty high for me. Okay. If I'm being real, like her, like I don't want to get too deep into how I do scaling and so forth because it gets real elaborate. But I break down like defensive capabilities into like durability, stamina, and resiliency. I separate the three of them, and like resiliency being your ability to bounce back from taking an L. And I say, essentially, I'll tell anybody, to me, Luffy's the most resilient character in all of One Piece. So his eyes will go white, he'll get knocked out, but Luffy will bounce back quick because he's rubber. Mm-hmm. Jack is exceptionally resilient. He's really durable, but Jack is exceptionally resilient. So I know people sleep on Jabba Jack.
Jack the Jabba.
Jack the Jabba is hella resilient. He bounced back. I've seen that man take I don't know how many L's, but he keeps getting back up on his feet. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jack comes back again, because Jack, he goes down and he gets back up. Ulti is one of those level cats with resiliency. I've seen her get snuck by a whole bunch of people. Yamato, Big Mom, she took nasty lightning from Nami, and she keep getting back up. So I got Ulti being pretty high amongst the Toby Ropo. She 1 or 2 as far as I'm concerned. You don't know who might be better, but that's about it.
So Drake and Yamato might have been a decent fight.
It might have been. I mean, depends on where you scale Drake. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. How you feel about it?
Well, I'm not sure I got a feeling on where Drake is, but he was about to get. Well, no. Let's save it. Okay. But it would have been an interesting fight. I'll leave it there. We gotta do a Toby Ropo or maybe a.
We gotta do it.
Yeah, video.
We gotta do it.
This is okay. All right, but look here. Where did the 3 numbers fall in for you in terms of where their importance is? Because one of them took off, right?
One of them took. I think number 3 took off after Fuga.
Against my man's orders too. He just like broke off. Because aren't they supposed to be under Fu's control, right?
I mean, it seems like it. It seems like they're lining up with Fu, so it doesn't seem like they're pro Kaido. So I'm curious as to what's up with that.
And as you know, the theory out there that these are the 3 that were in the cave with Yamato.
Yeah, how you feel about that?
And then they got turned. If they saying that those are the 3 samurai that was in the cave with Yamato and he couldn't break them, so he turned them into numbers. One, I'd like to know what the mechanics is of turning somebody into a number. And then 2, what is their mindset? Are they under control? Are numbers? Apparently, a fool can control them with music, but outside of that, what do they do? Who are they? What's their allegiance? Because if you put like this, if you couldn't break me and somehow you do sorcery or whatever and turn me into a number, I probably ain't cool with that anyway. But if you did that and part of the function is that I have to do what you say, all right, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm an underling and I'm just a mindless beast. That's what I assumed the numbers were, mindless beasts. They were aligned to Kaido by whatever means. All right. Now, the fact that this dude took off, or this ogre, whatever he is, took off, he wasn't listening to a Apu, who I assumed was he was under to some extent. So I want to understand how that works. And where is he going second? There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Because the numbers seemed, they were seeming like fodder prior to this. So they just seemed like they were just thrown in there to be thrown in there, especially when we were getting fights and they weren't really matching up with anybody. So it just seemed like they were just thrown in just to be thrown in. And this does make things interesting. I did hear the theory that they were those 3 dudes in the cave. I also heard the idea that essentially the numbers, this is essentially gigantification that didn't take, as far as I know. So it's that stuff that Caesar was doing with the kids and so forth. And so I'm curious. I'm with you. Like, you know, do you retain some of who you were? Are you still in control? Is it just gigantification? Are you being brainwashed too? So I'm real curious as to how this is going to play out, because it's real interesting to me.
So, all right. Well, so that basically ends up with one of them taking off and Drake taking on Apu and the other two numbers. I mean, Drake's pretty brave dude, you know. Because I'm not saying, you know, I mean, it's two giants, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh no, Apu will probably be a little bit hard on his own.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Know? But when you got two giants on your back, if you just use them for fodder, you know, you got the edge.
No, but it just seemed like Oda. I mean, it just seems like they must stand apart. I mean, 1, 2, and 3 are the numbers.
Right.
I'm going to believe that they're not just going to be, you know, ranking file straight fodder. I'm going to believe they got some go to.
Okay. So he's stacking layers and layers of fights. This is another one. I'm more interested in this fight than some of the others.
Okay.
But, you know, this ain't on the top of my mind. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting.
No,
it's interesting. I'm not dismissing this at all.
Okay.
Now we get another interesting layer where CP0 has arrived. Where they on the second floor to get Robin, and it looked like it's just Robin and Brooke. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see no other Mugiwara that's there. So
I mean, they're jumping down. So I'm thinking I'm going to throw out my own little theory, and I'm going to say at some point they're going to run into Jinbei. I'm just going to throw that out there off the break, because, you know, not to say, because I thought the fight was entertaining. I thought it was a little quick. And I'm just going to say that for me, I feel like Sanji needs to fight this arc. And I really would like for Jinbei to have a fight. You know, he's new to the squad, and he hasn't really had his own showcase. And that Who's Who fight was all over really, really quick. So I would like for Jinbei to get another round. Yeah, I like for him to be able to flex, and I don't know that he was able to with Who's Who.
And we know one of these guys is Lucci, right? He's actually there, right?
No,
we don't know.
No, that's the dude. That's the dude Lucci was talking to on the phone.
Okay.
On the Mushi.
So Lucci
Lucci's not there. Lucci's not there. He was with Kaku and
Okay.
What's her face name? I can't think of her name right now.
California. No, you're talking about Stussy.
Stussy. There you go. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. All right. So and they immediately took the flight, even though they had these minks.
You heard Robin say CP0 they bad, and of all the CP0 cats, the cats that wear the mask, they bad.
Right.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
He said these adversaries are formidable. Said, all right. So they took off, which is fair. You know, it's only a fool fights in a burning house. So they all burning. You know, they all fools to some extent. But I mean, they must be good because they're going up against the mix, and apparently they're having their way with them to the point where they had to take off. Well, this is getting spicy. Ultimately, I can't see them getting Robin because it seems like that's a little bit of repeat. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't see her being captured again.
I mean,
I just because that seemed like redundant. You know,
it is a bit redundant. I'm gonna say I trust in Oda enough that, you know, if he wants to go down the same path, then I'm sure he'll figure out a way to spice it up. But I'm with you. We've been there. We've done that. You know.
Okay, but this may wind up with a good fight for somebody. Jinbei, probably Usopp. Well, no, we already ran past Usopp. He's taking Kanjuro's lower left, not Kanjuro. What's her name? His lower half.
Kinemon.
Kinemon's lower half to meet up with his upper half and save it Kiku and stuff like that. So I don't think Usopp's going to get into it. So it'd be nice because he needs a fight too. But he would probably get his fight somewhere else.
I guess.
Okay, so all right, that leads us to the main event. Sanji apparently having beat up a geisha, or at least beat down a geisha for no reason, which is to me unthinkable. But he apparently had a blackout episode while he was running. Last time we saw him, he engaged Queen to some extent, but probably broke away. During that last chapter.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's fire. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way he sets it up too. It's like, you just thrown into the middle of this. So you don't know whether, he hit her or not. The reader, I mean. You just show up in this geisha house and they're talking about how could you or whatever. He's like shocked like everybody else. I could never do something like that. But then she beat up. They say you was the only one in there with her, and he having flashbacks to when his brothers beat up that was she a cook? Unconscious.
Yeah, the waitress or whatever. Yeah, cook.
Yeah, waitress. Yeah. So he having them flashbacks, and he's thinking maybe he did, walk up in there. And I like the fact that while he's sorting this through in his mind, he ain't even really paying Queen no attention.
No, I also like the fact, this is real talk. I mean, your man, I don't know if you can see the background I got, but your man Oda has his eyebrows curling the German 666 way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's going the way his brothers go.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, I love the whole thing, yo. I actually do like this bit.
That's okay. That's true. This is paying off the whole issue of Whole Cake Island and the fact that they gave him the raid suit.
Uh-huh.
It was at first I'm thinking, oh, they actually do love their brother, you know what I'm saying? And they want him to be safe, so they gave him raid suit so that he can fight in the new world or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That joke was just to bring him back into the fold. So he'll lose his humanity and eventually turn into a monster like the rest of them. I don't know if they want to bring him back, but I think it was a setup.
You think this was a straight setup?
That's what I'm getting. Because he wouldn't have known. All he knows is, he didn't want it in the first place. The only reason he put it on them, 2 times was just because it would have been useful. He was trying to hide his identity from page 1.
Okay.
And the other time was to get into the bathhouse so he could spy on the women. So it was just a convenience. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't know what it was doing to him.
And didn't he also put it on when he went up against to sneak up on King when he was about to kill Momonosuke?
Right. So that's 3 times he put it on and it started to change. Activating his soul. It seemed to me like it was all a setup. It was like, this will, I don't know if this is judges thinking.
Uh-huh.
It had to be in my mind. Judge probably told who was it that gave it to him? Snuck it on them. Yanji or somebody. One of them, slipped this on them and eventually was going to break him down. Now, did he want him to come back to the family? Maybe. Or maybe he just wanted another tool. I'm
going to say that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. His sons are tools to him, basically. Whether he loves them or not, I doubt it. Because whatever. But it seems like this transformation has stopped at this point. Okay. And I love all of Sanji's inner dialogue. All of it was just beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I love his thought process. You know what I'm saying? He's my favorite bit was the bit where he's thinking about Luffy, which is interesting also. Because one could say that if he was fiercely devoted to Luffy, he would accept this change if it meant making dude the Pirate King. All right, because all of them basically have taken the oath to put that man over the top.
Okay.
But he also got his father to consider. So what he's saying is basically, yeah, I'm in the tank. I laid out my life to make you Pirate King, but my father taught me this. You know what I'm saying? I can't harm a woman. That's in me. So the question is am I better served by becoming an unstoppable assassin, basically, for you, and abandoning what my father taught me, or just sticking to what my father taught me, and maybe being a liability in some circumstances? And
I mean,
the conclusion. I mean, that's a dilemma.
I'm with you. I mean, because in some ways, his inability or unwillingness to fight women is detrimental to the squad. I mean, let's put it out there. Let's just be real with it. That's a drawback that because I know we touched on it, but to me, to become a Yonko, you have to not just, you yourself can't be ready to do battle with the Yonko. Your crew has to be able to handle a Yonko crew. Mm-hmm. Everybody has to hold down their spot. And if Sanji's spot is second commander, then regardless of the second commander that we run into, you got to be able to hold down that spot. I don't need you to take the first commander. If you can take the third, that's great. But I need you to hold down second commander. Like, that's your spot. Mm-hmm. So if they fight Big Mom for real,
yeah.
And not to say, because I haven't seen Smoothie do anything. I haven't seen her bust a grape. So I don't know, quite frankly, if she holds down that spot truly or not. But if we start going whatever, like, I don't need you to be Katakuri. I don't know that you could be Katakuri. But at this point in time, excuse me, I need you to be able to make Smoothie. Like, and you can't do that. It's real. It is a fact. You can't beat Smoothie in a fight because you're not going to fight Smoothie. Mm-hmm. So you can't hold down your spot. So, and I was talking to somebody, I was talking to my son, and essentially my point was, when you can't hold down your spot, you got a free agent running around. Mm-hmm. So at this point, either Smoothie goes down and she takes whoever's fighting Cracker, or she goes up and Katakuri and Smoothie jump Zoro. And then once Zoro goes down, then it's Katakuri, Smoothie, and Big Mom versus Luffy, and it's a wrap for the crew. Because you don't want to hold down your spot, you mess things up. Because I think me and my son, we were debating Kaido versus Big Mom, and I was essentially saying Sparrow's person is going to end up in Who's Who, and as soon as he takes out Who's Who, because that's who I got winning that fight. Regardless of which way he going, it's messing up the work for everybody. So I don't want to talk about it now, but I got Big Mom taking Kite, but it is what it is. But all right. So my point is, Sanji got to hold down his spot. He can't do that. But the fact is, your man Luffy was willing to go to war for Sanji, as he is.
Yes. Yes.
So he don't want the warrior of science. He want your sorry ass. So I'm just gonna say he wants you.
Yeah.
So you did right by destroying that.
He did. Because look, I mean,
two Yonko for you, Sanji. But yeah,
I mean, and it's cool. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, he look. I can't defy my father.
Yeah,
but I can't. I gotta fight for my captain. So his thing is, look. I mean, I don't know how this is gonna go, but screw it. I gotta stay true to myself. And my thing is, I have to beat this. I have to beat this dude on my own.
Yeah.
Now, what happens after this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to level up to German science to beat this guy. And if I can't beat him and die, then it is what it is. But I'm going to die trying to fight for my captain, which means he's laying down his life, basically. Because if the only way he can beat Queen is to put on that suit, he's saying, nah, and I'm going to just get killed. And I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? But I can't defy my father, but I'm still willing to die for my captain. So it's allegiance on two levels to me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And that's beautiful. You know what I mean? And I like the way he thought through that. You know what I'm saying? Because especially when he gets to the part where, he's like, the transformation seems to have stopped. So whatever it is, this is as far as it's come. This is as bad as it's gotten to this point. So if I don't put it on no more, maybe it'll just stop here. So whatever changes took place, he has changed.
Yes.
I think he's basically saying, I have changed. He probably thinks that change made him hit that woman, and I'm pretty sure he did. I think Oda left it ambiguous like that because he didn't, and I think somebody's running the game on him.
I think so too.
Somebody,
yeah.
If Black Maria was still conscious, I would say it was her. But she's.
But I do like it. I do like it. So I think this is very intriguing. I think I will say some of it still rubs me the wrong way because I feel like, what were you doing those 2 years? Oda's been chumping Sanji hard, like whatever. So power wise, I don't feel like he's earned where he is power wise. He didn't earn this level up. Like it was just given to him. It was handed to him. Character wise, I liked it. Like I'm gonna tell you, Sanji, he's been getting tons of character work. Time skip, like tons of character work. This is fantastic. I'm gonna tell you that off the break. Power wise, I don't necessarily, because I feel like pre-time skip, he earned every level up he got. Like that was him. And Oda has an interesting way of going about power ups. So he doesn't like to do training arcs for the most part. He doesn't. You don't see that. You get the time skipping cats grow during fights and whatever. Sanji ain't had none of that post time skip, so I haven't really been feeling this. But character wise, I think this is amazing.
But oddly enough, I think this level up is kind of in harmony with his character. Because at no time during the series have you ever seen him interested in training or, you know what I mean? You never when he was stuck on the island with the Okamas. What he did was to get that recipe so that he could help the crew physically through his cooking.
I got you.
And he figured, yeah, I'm gonna get stronger. Probably, I don't even know if he actually even said that. But battling the Okamas, who were better than him fighting wise, improved him. But that wasn't his original goal. Which like I said, you see Zoro working out. That's his thing. I gotta get stronger. Because he knows he has to defeat Mihawk.
Okay.
Sanji has to find the all blue that won't require any physical feat. He just got to get to the all blue and cook. You know what I'm saying? So he's never actually been one to. Only time he leveled up was due to either it had something to do with emotion. You know what I'm saying? The fear and of the Okamas and running from them. He learned to fly. You know what I'm saying?
I got
learned to walk on water to escape them, or if like when he beat what's that wolf dude?
Jabra.
He beat Jabra on straight rage. You know what I'm saying? Man, stop talking trash. So he burned them out. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So now the German science bringing out the modifications that was made to him. It is what it is. Now that's just gonna, you know what I'm saying? So it was dormant, you know what I'm saying? And this comes out and it improves his durability, maybe his strength and speed or whatever. At this point, he might decide that maybe he needs to get strong or whatever. But it seems consistent with his character.
I mean, I'm not going to refute that too much because I think Sanji's a very interesting character. He's exceptionally layered. And he's very, in his own ways, he's very altruistic. So he's very selfless in how he goes about things. So like that Jabra stuff, he was enraged, but part of the Jabra stuff was Jabra was lightning the Usopp, and you get that whole, you got to do what you got to do. Everybody has to hold down their spot.
Right.
So in order to protect my crew, in order to be an asset for Luffy, and I got you, because I also know that he feels like, I know we talked about this before. He knows. I'm never one of those in the whole Sanji versus Zoro debate as to, because it's a silly debate to me. If you're talking about who's stronger, because Zoro is stronger and he's meant to be stronger. Because like you said, he's constantly training, and his goal is physical in nature. That's your spot. And like when the whole thing with when Usopp back in Water 7, when Usopp got his ass handed to him by Frank, it was essentially, where were you, Sanji? I was out shopping because I'm the cook. What were you doing? You doing
back on Zoro, like you should have killed him.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's your job. So like, it's not, to me, it's not a thing where He doesn't have to be Luffy. He doesn't have to be Zoro. He doesn't have to hold down those spots. But quite frankly, when you look at the squad, to protect your team, to be an asset for your captain, you got to be a number 3. So regardless of whatever, like I understand you got your cooking game up. Like I told you, Whole Cake Island, I love the fact that he's the only cat I seen put Big Mom on their back. I'm real talk. Like that was real to me. Like I'm all for it. I'm Team Sanji all the way. I love that cat.
No,
I need you need to be second commander. Like that's just real talk. And I would have been chumping you all time skip. It's been irritating me. I'm just like, let him get something. Let him do it on his own. So it was a gimme, and I'm with you. Like story wise, I'll take it. I won't. This is the last time you hear me say anything.
And look, this might be his come to Jesus moment. This might be when he realizes I have to, like you say, I got to hold down that spot. You know what I'm saying? I have to, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, he works off his mind, he out clevers people, he outwits people, and he beats them down too, because he can. You know what I mean? But this might be the situation where he, you know, when you go into it with a Yonko crew and you realize that you are rivals to the Yonko, then you realize, you got to hold down the number 2 spot. That's it. You know what I'm saying? The third strongest member is mine. And I got to defeat that.
Got to be.
And he's going to learn that with Queen, you know what I'm saying? Because he ain't never had to fight nobody like that before. You know what I'm saying? Up until this point, I don't think so. No, somebody of that. I mean, he's fought the third strongest opponent of a crew before, but he ain't never reached. But the last time he had to beat somebody that was formidable might have been Jabra, I think.
Yeah,
might have been. Now you fighting a dude that's like next level. You know what I mean? This is a whole different issue. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this might be his thing where he realizes, you know, I can't be careless, I can't be whatever. And he just, how else was he going to get his upgrade? If he doesn't recklessly or just tirelessly train, how was he going to get his upgrade?
No, I mean, I'm with you. And like I know, so sometimes sacrifices have to be made. Story wise, and I know you and I have talked about this. I feel like, you know, in some ways, Oda's cutting corners. So if you think, well, One Piece has been going on for almost 25 years, and you'll say pre-time skip was what, 13, 14 years? And that's supposed to be the halfway point, and he's been doing post-time skip for 10, 11, then you realize that ain't the halfway point. The post-time skip is going to go on for a long time. We got at least 5 to 7 years left of One Piece. It's just, it is what it is. And at some point, you know, we got to cut some corners, because I'm skipping stuff. Even though, like, to this point, Zoro hasn't been chunked, I don't know that he's developed strength-wise at all. So he's come out, you know, he came out, he's been flexing, but he hasn't done anything to grow post-time skip. And so neither did Sanji. So Sanji got chunked, so he needed some kind of cheat. It is what it is. So I got to suck it up. It is what it is, and this is where we are. I'm just a little upset.
This is going to be the fight that lets the world know, don't mess with Sanji.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? The dude, you know, bump what you heard, you know what I'm saying? This dude, it ain't just because of Jeremy or whatever. This dude is dangerous, leave him alone. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And I'm looking forward to the fight itself. And then that last bit, man, where he entrusted man, his boy. And I mean, he's dead serious too. Although the walk up to that, when he calls him and he says farewell, German, and farewell with his bad mouth, cuts the tension a bit. I love that. Because when I think about the animation, I see a pause between the two. You know what I'm saying? He said farewell, German. Then he liked the match. Farewell with his bad mouth. It's like you anticipate him saying something deep. But it is deep to him. That was part of his dream. Invisibility was part of his dream. So he's like cutting off your arm, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But then the conversation with Zoro, I thought was just great. You know
I thought so too. The whole bit was like on point. And him calling Zoro to say, hey, if I ain't right, I need you to go ahead and just take me out.
And we from Zoro's standpoint. He processing a little bit when the fight started, and he was talking about how he feels different or whatever.
Yeah,
he probably took that into account. I mean, I think he's dead serious. I think he's dead serious. I think if he thought as he said, he didn't understand the whole thing, but he probably did say something's different about him, and he was worried about it. So he's calling me, telling me that if I lose myself, kill me. So I think he's weighing that in his mind, at least to some extent. I'm not saying he would kill him quickly. I mean, you know what I mean? It would be like he'd gladly kill him. Now I finally get to kill Sanji, you know. But I think he would do it if he saw that he would say, like, if he confronted him and then he slapped Nami for some reason or whatever, you know what I'm saying, out the blue, cold cocked, he'd kill him. Because he realized that he changed in some appreciable way, because you crossed a bridge that you never even came close to crossing before. You was on a Dendemushi yelling for Robin to help you, as opposed to fighting Black Maria. Basically exposing yourself to ridicule and shame to avoid hitting a woman, and now it's nothing to you. He said, this ain't the same dude I set to sail with, so I'm going to kill him. I'm going to feel bad about it, but I'm going to kill him, you know what I mean? I think he would do it. I think
at the end of the day, if all else failed, then yes, I think so. But I think all else failing, because I do also believe that Zoro's in the tank for Luffy. So I think a lot of this stuff will weigh into anybody's decision making. Like, essentially, they're fighting two Yonkos because Luffy wanted Sanji on the squad. Right. Like, they could have let that man go as though. Like, it could have just been a rap. It could have been, you go do you and whatever. But we want this cat. We want the version of you that's not going to hit women. We do want that. So I honestly believe if it came down to it, yeah, you'll see a panel where, you know, Zoro hits him with, like, you know, onigiri to knock him unconscious. And then we set sail and they on that it's the fine German 66 arc, where we say you got to get the science nonsense out of
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So, like, I don't know that, you know, Sanji it'll be curtains, but, you know, it'll be, you know, we coming for you, Judge. So if that fails, then maybe, but I don't know.
I can see that. I can see that. I'd probably see it this way. Say, like, bring Nami and Robin into the situation. Yeah. He's walking around stone-faced with the stone-faced killer look on his face. And Nami said, "What's wrong? What's whatever?" And he backhands it, right? I mean, not even a little bit. I mean, hard, to the point where, like, homegirl, like, sent flying, he's out. You just do that flip, what you call them? You know, like you would do a perspective and then flip it. Yeah. Flip the perspective, a frontal shot of Sanji with Zoro bearing down, and Luffy jumps in the way, probably saves it. Probably. Because somebody would, because I think at that point he would be coming in close to intent to kill. You know what I'm saying? Because dude he told him, if I lose myself, you got to kill me. You know what I'm saying? That he would say, well, that's it. Something's wrong or something. This dude's off.
He got to go. He got to go.
So, I ain't saying he wouldn't flinch. I'm saying, but you know your people. You know what I'm saying? You know your people. This is not something close to what he would do.
Okay.
It's completely left field. You know what I'm saying? Out of the question. And you hit your friend. If it was an enemy, you'll be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? He offered that now. That's interesting. You know, but if you hit your people, he might be coming down on him with I don't know what he hit him with, but he might be getting ready to end that. And Luffy might have to say, and then they, like you say, they tie him up and take him back to where he got to do the deprogram. You know what I'm saying? But I can see him get ready to take the dude out. That's just me.
Okay.
That's just me. And I'm also interested. I mean, another thing, he slipped a Dendemushi on that dude while he was fighting.
I love that.
That was wild.
I love that.
That dude is, like I say, he
thinks. Yeah, I'm with you. I love it. Like, you know, I figured your ass would get lost.
He did it out of concern, you know what I'm saying? He said this dude might get into some kind of trouble somewhere. And I had to find him. You know what I'm saying?
Good dude, yeah.
Yeah, he's the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love Sanji. Yeah, I'm with you.
And man's having this conversation while he's fighting King, which is off the hook. You know, because King don't care what he's talking about. He coming at him with intent to kill. You know what I'm saying? And he's able to beat this dude off, or at least hold him at bay while he's doing that.
Yeah.
And then that last page is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Man talking about just calling him a German brat or whatever, and he break out hell memories. You know what I'm saying? Again, you get a dude pissed off, you're gonna get the worst. You know what I'm saying? Now I want to see how the Germa augmentations affects his abilities, because he only used hell memory once. I wonder is it more powerful now that he's amped up, I guess.
I think so. You know, like essentially your man to become, you know, Captain America / Wolverine. You know, so at this point in time, I'm assuming that thing got to be amped up for real.
Yeah, because his skin just harder. Period. Or is just you know what I mean? Is it just like because he can heal fast?
Yeah,
and apparently he's got upgraded endurance.
Yeah.
Okay, so his blows probably hurt more, I guess.
I'm assuming I think he's physically enhanced at this point. I think, you know, his and then if you start to factor in whatever, because we never really established what his baseline was hockey wise, but at this point in time, I think he's a G.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he blitzed Queen to the point where he vanished and he thought he was using the race. I'm guessing that means that could he do that previously? Probably. He was fast enough, I guess, to blitz somebody previously, I guess.
But
it might be faster. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this fight.
Yeah,
man.
Because the skill set that Queen presents is ridiculous. I mean, he's just got like fighting Inspector Gadget on crack. You know what I'm saying? He got every gadget, weapon or whatever. I mean, So this is an interesting fight for him. So I'm looking forward to this. I love this chapter because it had layers to it and it had heart. It had emotion. You know what I'm saying? And it had, you know, it was thrilling. It had emotion. It had a whole deal. You know what I'm saying? First we got to wait another week because they're on break. And you have all these interesting fights and you got to cycle through them. So it's going to take time. So you can't get your blood up too much. Because next we might go back to, I don't know, find out what happened with Kinemon or whatever. Maybe Fukurokuju and Raizo. I mean, just let that be done. Off screen. I don't need to see that. Just put it in the paper after the war. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. But so we got to cycle through these fights. So
I want to get this undercards done. Like, I mean, the real true undercards like that Fukurujo and Raizo. I need that to just be out the way because, like, I'm ready for some of these heavy hitters. Like, I'm ready. You know,
like I said, just have it announced. Oh no, and then that's fine. I'm fine with it. You know.
Which I'm gonna tell you too. Like part of my problem. Well, not a problem. So it shows you to me how short-sighted Orochi is. Because he don't know where his man is. Like he's in a battle. He's assuming he's gonna come to save him. But you don't know. You might go up and smoke like
that's what I'm saying.
Else. You know, I don't.
He's stupid. He's just stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm still thinking that them bombs that's in the bottom are going to get used for a positive purpose.
I think so too.
They might get dropped on the Navy or something. Something's going to be done with them bombs that helps. You know, somebody. I don't know how, but personally, I wouldn't have brought all that stuff into it. The dropping of the island plus the bombs and stuff like that. But it's Oda. He know it.
I'm about to say Oda know what he's doing, man.
He know what he's doing. It's gonna be like mind bending. You know what I'm saying? The bombs went up into the heavens and the rain. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. He gonna come up with some weird joint that's gonna blow everybody's mind. So
I mean, I think as a writer, my only problem with Oda for real is he refuses to kill anybody. My only and quite frankly, I can live with it. Like I'll suck it up. Like you know, like Kiku should be dead. You know, like,
dead, man,
you
what you
know,
call him? Dude's still being alive. I
who,
keep saying
Conjurer?
Conjuro, not well, Conjuro. Yeah, I mean, I don't need him anymore.
I mean,
But
the man
Kennymon being dead would be fine.
yeah, Conjuro died like 3 times. He had 3 death scenes. The whole, you know, this whole arc, the whole raid. So
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And that fire only thing, I wouldn't even have bought that in.
I mean,
The
it's
fire
older.
only that's going down there to light the bombs. You
Yeah.
only got the danger of the
You
bombs.
got the bombs. You got the man. Like,
And the joint's already on fire, so the fire was going to get to the bombs anyway.
Man, you got
I
the world
guess
government. That's what I'm saying, man. The world government. It's a whole bunch. Like, I don't know.
Well, he knows what he's doing.
It's older. You know.
I'm reading his book, so that's
And I'll be back next chapter. So,
hey, every chapter, as long as he put one out.
Yeah.
All right. So we got to wait another week. I guess they give us time to do some kind of poll or something, I guess. Anyway, appreciate you coming on. And if you're watching, appreciate you watching. This is the end of the review. Like to hear your opinions, your thoughts on where some of these fights are going, and would Zoro kill Sanji if he went mental? Let us know. Appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, stay loose.